Good morning. Hola, 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 This is a live that's a bit more, it's not such a fun live. It's more of a serious talk because there's about to be some changes. Well, there's already changes. And I guess I could say that there needs to be changes in the way people think about getting into sublimation. So that's what we're going to talk about this morning. Because I happened to come across going on the Epson site, looking to see, like, if there was any word about more 7210s and just kind of, checking up on the site and stuff like that. And I came across something and I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Oh, wait a minute. No, go back. You gotta be kidding me. So I need for you guys to, no, seriously, if you're on Facebook, I need for you to share this video out to sublimation groups, to your craft groups. I'm not one that normally really talks about like share. I kind of just put it out there, hey, it's great to share whatever. But in all seriousness, guys, this needs to be shared out, because for those who are wanting to get into sublimation, they're asking about printers. This is going to be some very important information about how getting into sublimation on a crafter's level, where you're not going to the bigger machines, how that is going to look and how that's going to change. So I need for you guys to share, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. I need you guys to share. We need to get these counts up so that people are aware of what's going on when it comes to sublimation and the printers that we love so dearly when it comes to sublimation. So let's get this shared out. All right, I'm going to share as well, but I need y'all to share out. Let's see. Oh, well, not to that one, Miss Sonia. Okay, well, there's a couple of groups you can't share out to. I don't think you want to share that one, Miss Sonia. They're going to delete that post in 2 hot seconds. You can't do lives in that group. That is the sucky part. You never know which groups you can and cannot share to. But I would, let's see what they say about it and what they do about it, but they'll probably delete it. But if you know that you can safely share to a group, please share. Let's see. Let me go ahead and share. Let's see what they say about it and what they do about it, but they'll probably delete it. Wait a minute. Whoa, I'm glad. You know that you can safely share to a group. Ooh, I look crazy. It froze on me, but my microphone sounds. Oh no, it's this one, but I don't know. My microphone sounds so friggin' weird. It sounds like it's echoey. I don't know what's going on. Maybe from when I dropped it 30,000 times, and maybe it wasn't just the handle that broke. Maybe something else broke in here. I don't know, but it sounds crazy. But it's the right one. At first, I thought, listening to it, I thought it was the microphone on the camera, but it's not. All right. So let me go ahead and get my share on real quick. I don't know. I'll probably be getting in certain groups. I know for sure I can't share it to, and then there's others where I'm not quite sure, and I'm going to share anyway. um, 'cause, 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 ' And I'll probably get dinged too. Last time I shared so many places, Facebook kind of blocked me from sharing. But anywho, all right. So here's the thing, right? We are all, well, when you get into sublimation, you ask people what's the best sublimation print. Oh, wait, I'm so rude. Let me introduce myself. I'm sorry. We probably have a whole lot of new people on here who don't know who in the heck this girl is on here talking about a PSA, a public sublimation announcement. So I am Shakia, the professor of SILAHOLICS Anonymous and the product line HS Ink. Okay, so that's who I am. I sell sublimation ink, sublimation paper. So I do a lot of research and just kind of trying to stay up and stay abreast on things that are happening within the sublimation world. So I came across the fact that there was a reason, and I should have known because the exact same thing happened with the 7720s. The fact that Dell had this crazy sale that was on for like forever and a day, and then they canceled them because there was no way that they were going to be able to fulfill all of the orders because they were live. That listing was live for way too long. And I'm like, Epson's own, whenever I go live or like whenever they post them, they go like that. So if from the source they sell out like that, how is Dell able to have this going on for hours and hours and hours? And then, of course, they end up canceling people's orders. I was like, yeah, because Epson's not going to be able to fulfill all of those printer orders. And they also ran a sale on their site. The fact that they dropped them, I'm like, these printers have been $199. Every time you drop them, they sell out like that at $199. Why are they $149? I knew it was coming, y'all. I knew it was coming. When those printers drop to $149, there is no way any business where if you have something that is selling and it is moving, you are going to drop a sale like that out of the blue, like literally for no reason. We're not talking Black Friday or Christmas in July or something like that. I knew it. All of the printers that can use resettable chips are no longer in circulation, will no longer be in circulation for Epson. They now have the 7310 printer. What does that mean? Gone are the days of using resettable cartridges and chip resetters and all of that. And the most cost-effective way to get into sublimation, or for those, not even just for sublimation, even for those who use these printers for chip bags, water bottle labels, like all of those regular things, like using it as a pigment ink printer, gone are the days of being able to kind of freely print and not think about your ink consumption. It is not out officially yet, however, it is, wait, let's see. Let's go back. Why am I back on this one? I want to go to, here we go, right here. Bam. They now have the 7310, which is, of course, the replacement for the 7210. And this one will use the 812 cartridges, the ones that do not have a resettable cartridge, resettable chip, or you can use a chip resetter. You have to change the chip out on this every single time the ink runs out. I'm sorry, 1 second. Sorry, with my grandmother being in the hospital, I have to make sure that I answer my mother. But this printer is the replacement. And Some people have gotten like the 7820s and the 7840s, and they just don't care for them, and they have sent them back. This is going to make it very difficult to have a desktop printer that's a workforce printer, like something that's a wide format in a more affordable range, because you have to change out the chips on these every single time it runs out. There is no resetter. So for those who, you want to get into Summation, people talk about the 7710, the 7720. They're great printers. You can reset them. You can use the continuous ink system. You buy the ink cartridges one time and you're done. And like you just keep refilling them, resetting them. It is a very cost-effective way to get into sublimation. It is a very cost-effective way for pigment ink printing, where you're not having to buy the Epson cartridges over and over and over again, which can be very, very, very pricey. When the 7720s, when people had those and they were selling them for $500, $400, $400, $500, even up to $800, people are like, whatever, they're crazy as hell, I'm not paying that. But it becomes supply and demand. It's a better, in the long run, you could quickly spend $800 on ink in a couple of refills versus paying $800 for a printer and then just be able to reset it, and you're only paying that one time, versus you could potentially pay that. Okay, let's just break this down. We sell the 78, the chips for the 7820 and the 7840, right? They are $73. So let's say, these printers normally will retail, like they retail for $299. A lot of people were able to get the 7720 for $199 when it was on sale. Everyone had it. Best Buy, Office Depot, Staples. You turn in a printer, you get $50 off. So people were getting it for instead of $299, they were getting it for like either $250, or if it was on sale for $199, they turn in a printer, they're getting it for $150. Like, it was the greatest printer to get, and everyone clamored after it, especially once the pandemic hit. Everyone wants it because it is a cost-effective way to start a side hustle. But now Epson is making it a bit harder, and it's going to hit your pockets more. This is why it is so important. I cannot stress this enough. If you are getting into this crafting thing, whether it's sublimation, making chip bags, making printable shirts, or whatever, you cannot go off of what somebody else is charging. I say this all the time. You cannot go off of what somebody else is charging. You don't know what equipment they have. If someone went and they got a printer dirt cheap, they're not paying much for ink, they found them a hookup or whatever, they can charge less and you're charging more, but you can probably make the same profit margin because you're having to pay more for your supplies. If I have a 7820, I have to pay more to change my inks. I can't charge the same amount as somebody who can just reset a cartridge and they're just reset. All they have to worry about is the ink. I can't charge that, which is why you have to look at the equipment that you are using, what it costs to maintain that. If you went up to a big printer, and a lot of people talk about that too, like going up to the wide, like the large formats, even with those, you're going to have to change out the chips. There is really no chip resetter for that. You get those big cartridges and you change out that chip every single time. This is the norm. People changing out chips is not the norm when it comes to sublimation, and a lot of people are not used to it, but you have to get used to it because Epson has officially gotten rid of, well, they'll probably have a few more sales if they have any more in production right now, but they have officially put on their site the 7310. So if anyone goes and they are recommending a printer to you, unless you are going to purchase it from someone who already used it and it is like refurbished, or it's a used printer they got out of the game, they just happen to have it, you find it at a thrift store or somewhere, you are not going to be able to find a 7210, a 7720, or a 7710 brand spanking new. You cannot use the 252 cartridges on it. You cannot use a chip resetter on the new printers. The only workforce printers that you will be able to use that are wide format, 7820, that beast right there, the 7840, and now the 7310. Oops, hold on, let me move this out of the way. This is the replacement. And I'm going to show you some differences between the two. I have done a video on this 7840. I can't, it's not my favorite. It really isn't. It prints slow as molasses. Even on plain paper setting, it seems to print slow. When it's on premium matte, I can send a print here and a print to my 7720 on premium matte, premium presentation paper matte at that. I can print a whole page and a half on my 7720 before this one even finishes. It sucks. It absolutely sucks when it comes to how fast this thing prints. I need to look and see the comparison of how fast it's supposed to print. And then that really is based off of plain paper setting, which kind of sucks. They don't give you the stats when you're printing on premium matte. And that's more so for those who are using as a pigment ink printer. This is another reason why you gotta adapt to my settings. My settings will help you in the fact that you don't have to use premium matte. Use plain paper setting. If you have to use a 7820 or a 7840 or now the 7310 for sublimation, you will not be able to use premium presentation paper matte. Your ink will go like this. You are going to be pissed the heck off, especially if you are a newbie. And don't understand and your sales aren't quite there to kind of make up and compensate for it. Printing on premium matte with these printers, it sucks up ink like it's in the desert. Like it's somebody who's desperate for water in the desert. That's how much ink it drops out. It is not a very ink efficient printer, unfortunately. Oh, okay. No, I see what that was. So let's say I was going to break this down. These printers are $2.99. Most people are getting them for $1.99, which is what people still have in their mind. Oh, I never paid $2.99. That is how much they retail for. You were fortunate to get it for $1.99, but it retails for $2.99. So if we take the difference of, I've seen these printers for as much as like $600. So that's an additional, let's be reasonable. So let's say $300. So 300 divided by the 73. That's 4 refills or 4 changes of, or 4 purchases of 4 sets of chips. 4. It sucks. And this video probably is going to make people want to, who do have them, jack their prices up on them if they do have some in stock. But I will say, if you can get a 7210, a 7720 at a reasonable cost, it's going to seem like a lot to pay in the beginning. But the other alternative, you're still going to be paying that. 4 refills. And unfortunately, those refills don't last you a long time when it comes to printing premium matte and things like that. It is going to run out a lot faster. You will get more prints out of it if you're using plain paper setting, but when you go to 13 by 19 or bigger sizes, I find that the ink jumps even more. I'm being totally honest about it. Yes, we sell the ink cartridges. You were like, why would you give this information if you sell the ink cartridge and you sell the chips? This is unfortunately the route that you're going to have to go. You're not going to be able to buy printers that use 252s. Some people ask, okay, what are your other wide format options? Well, you have the 70. So for eco tanks, you have the 15,000, which can't nobody find that. That printer was around for a while. It's actually, I didn't realize how long the 15,000 had been around, which is really around, like, we are really at the point where Epson should have been phasing that printer out anyway. Once they came out with the 8550, I rarely ever find 15,000s available anywhere. And it's $100 difference. So they hiked up the price $100 and they added 2 inks onto it. So now you got to buy 2 more different inks, which for the sublimation world, contrary to what people like to say it does not help anything, but you are now forced to. Because I even talked, I said I would not, but once I saw this, I immediately messaged my vendor and I was like, I'm gonna have to look into carrying this gray ink. I'm not gonna have a photo black. There was no such thing as photo black. So once we have them, when you're buying them, you would just purchase 2 black inks because there's no such thing as photo black. Don't let them fool you. Black is black. And then it comes like to the gray ink. So now you have to pay more because they don't have the 15,000 anymore that allowed you to put in just the 4 ink colors. You now have to get like the 8550. I don't know about anybody else. I haven't seen the 15,000 in months available anywhere. So now with the 8550, you have to have 2 additional inks to go in there. The printer costs more. Now you have to pay more for ink. Then you have the 16600, which I barely ever see those. They are $123 cheaper. I barely ever see those either. All I ever see in Best Buy or like other places, like you can easily find, is the 16650. That is the one that costs $1,123.99. So basically $1,124. Very, very high price tags. That little $600 workforce is looking real good when you have to put up $1,124. And that still uses 4 inks, but it also uses 140 milliliters. All of those companies that sell the smaller ones, you end up having to buy more of those inks to fill those cartridges because that is a super tank. It takes 140 milliliters for those. They're not the little baby 70 milliliter tanks for those. So now you have to buy more ink for those. See the trend here? Epson is making it to where, hey, you don't want to use our ink, you want to use it for other purposes, it's going to cost you. So if you have not gotten into the sublimation game and you've already gotten your printers and stuff like that, gotten your backup printers, well, be prepared to hike up your prices because it is going to cost you a hell of a lot more to get into sublimation from here on out on a crafters or small format level. It's still, it's always been the same pricing for those when it comes to large format, whether they convert one because they get the refillable cartridges or you just pay for the Epson one that is a sublimation printer, and you still have to. Once you get to the big boys, you're going to have to change out chips or change out cartridges. It's just on the crafters level, you feel like, oh, I'm just a beginner. I don't want to kind of do this. That's too much of a commitment. That's too much money. They're making this game to where it is the same, whether you have a small format or you have a large format. So I know I'm going to get all of the comments about this is why I get an eco tank. This is why I get an eco tank on a regular. Every single day, I field questions about eco tanks and them not working. Workforces are so much easier. And so like it's easier and it's not an expensive way to like fix if there's an issue. You can easily open up, push air. If something's wrong with one cartridge, you can change out another cartridge. You can't do that with eco tanks. Eco tanks, if you do a print head cleaning and it's not working, the smaller format ones, you can open them up. You can pull the, try and pull the ink down and stuff like that. You have to be careful though, because there is a plug back there that if you open that too far and it comes loose, you're going to get a scanner error. It's not going to print out properly. You have to keep resetting it, turn it off. So it becomes a lot of issues. And then also with this one, once the maintenance tank fills up, there's really nothing you can do when it comes to the smaller ones. Some people say they have a way to like reset them or trick it or whatever. But for the most part, once the maintenance tank is done on the 2720, that printer is done. So you've put in $199, the same amount that it was for a 7310. It is only small format. It only has so much prints that you're going to use. The maintenance tank on it is going to fill up. So it costs the same amount as the 7310. Which one's going to be beneficial for you in the long run? Yeah, this is real easy to fill up. Oh, I don't have to worry about buying ink and replacing it. But how long is this going to last you? I know a few people that they've had that less than a year and it doesn't work anymore because they've had to do so many printhead cleanings. It doesn't work anymore. So is it worth it to get that for $199 or get a 7310 that you have to it's $199, but at least it's going to last you longer. If certain things happen, it's easier to fix. 15,000s, 16,600s, people have issues with those. There's really nothing you can do because you cannot get to the tubing to fix that. The only way to really fix it, once you've done a bunch of printhead cleanings, you can print all the purge files you want. If there is air in those lines that you cannot get to and pull the air out like you would with a continuous ink system, you can do all the printhead cleanings you want. You can do all the purge files you want, which really don't do anything. Purge files, I hate when I see people. I was one of those that said it because I listened to folk who know what they were talking about. Purge files do absolutely nothing when it comes to fixing your line. It really doesn't. The only way to fix the EcoTank printers once like they have major issues is to do a power clean. There is a warning that says you can only do 2 power cleans. Why? The power clean uses so much ink. You're going to have to buy replacement ink anyway for the amount of ink that it is going to waste and the amount of ink that it dumps inside your waste tank. It dumps so much ink that after 2 power cleans, your waste tank is full and you cannot use it. And they know that it will drop that much ink because they'll tell you, you can only do 2. After 2, you might as well, doesn't matter if it's a small format printer or a large format printer, 2 power cleanings and that waste tank is full and you're going to have to replace your waste tank. It's so many issues. When you have an issue with a specific color in an EcoTank, it's not an easy fix. It's a real easy fix to change out 1 cartridge for these. So it's a hard decision to make. There really is no best printer when it comes to doing this on a crafter's level. You're going to have to really do your research, crunch your numbers on how you plan to use it. What do you want out of it in the long haul to make a decision on which printer to get? Because Epson is no longer making it easy for you, which, they have their own printers. I doubt they will have a 13-inch wide. You either have to pay for the 8.5-inch wide or the 24. It is my understanding that Sawgrass still holds the patent for the 13-inch Summation printer. So they won't be able to kind of fit into that window, which is why they have all these other options. They're not gonna make it to where you can't use refillable cartridges. I know that is a fear for everyone. Oh, I don't want to do the update. I won't be able to use my cartridges. Epson's not going to stop that. One, they've already been sued for that because you can't tell someone that they can't choose a different option. Now, if you decide you want to void the warranty, that is within your right, but you can't tell someone that they can't do something with like what to do with what they paid their money for or whatever. So they've already gotten sued for that. Not worried about them taking that away. If you're just going to always get the one that says, hey, you're not using genuine Epson cartridges, you can void your warranty. The thing with that is the people that answer the phones for Epson, they don't care about no warranty. It is not the CEOs. It is not these managers and stuff like that. You have the time you talk to somebody overseas and it's like, okay, yep, I'm going through this. It's not working. All right. I know people who have told the agents they put Summation ink in there. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. It's going to cost you $89. We'll send you a new one. You send that back. We'll refund your card. The sales agents really don't care. I mean, I know of people who have sent them back and they don't care the fact that you have Summation ink in there, because what they're going to do is they're going to fix it and they're going to put it on their refurbished site. So now they've made money off of that printer twice. They don't care, but they're not going to make it easy for you to use it. You're going to have to keep buying them, buying chips. I've talked to my vendor. Will it happen within the next year? Maybe not. You will know that they have a resettable chip once they come out with a continuous ink system. If and when a continuous ink system comes out for the 7820 and the 7840 and now the 7310s, a resettable cartridge or resettable chip or a chip resetter won't be too far behind, because then they will have the coding and all that stuff to make that happen. But they have to first work on that continuous ink system. So again, if you are just trying to get into sublimation and you don't already have a printer, if Epson happens to drop some more 7210s, I suggest you have your coins ready. Put it to the side. Get you a Cash App and a Cash App card to where you don't touch that money. And the minute Epson posted, not Dell, don't trust them. The minute Epson posted, or maybe even Best Buy, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. Because once they fully roll out these 7310s, gone are the days of finding the ones that can use the 252 cartridges. Let's see. My 7610 will not print cyan. It's printing spotty. I have done tons of print head cleanings. Don't do too many print head cleanings. If you have not watched my video on pushing air, do that. The other thing, when it comes to that, y'all have to get more equipment. Like, y'all have to have backups. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I know we want to kind of keep it cost effective, but if you're doing this for a business, you have to have a way to test it. Just doing a bunch of print head cleanings, doing a bunch of purge files with the same cartridges that are having issues is not going to solve your issue. It's not going to help you come up with a solution. You're either going to have to go to the store and purchase a set of 252 cartridges so that you can test it to see, is it the printer that's messing up or is it the cartridge? The only way to test that is to change one of the variables. That is just troubleshooting 101. You have to change one of the variables. So you're either going to take that cartridge and put it in a new printer to see if it's messing up in a new printer. Who has a whole other printer to put hanging around? They can just test it that. Or you have to sacrifice buying a new set of cartridges, whether it is a set from your local store that you can easily go and get, just pay $12.99 or $12.49 for a standard size cartridge, or you should always keep a second set of cartridges on hand in times like this. Because if it was a cartridge, you just spent how many print head cleanings? That is wasting ink. Print head cleanings pushes ink that's in your cartridge through the print head into your waste tank. So you have shortened the life of your maintenance box or your waste tank, whichever way you want to call it. You have wasted valuable ink doing a bunch of print head cleanings and even the purge files when you could have just switched out a cartridge to see if it was the cartridge or the printer. That is the most frustrating thing in the world, to do that thing. Okay, this should fix it. This should fix it. No, either go to Walmart, Target, Best Buy, somewhere, get a 252 cyan, or purchase a full set of refillable cartridges. We have them empty. We have them pre-filled on our website. That is the best way to test when you have a workforce printer. That is the best way to test to see what is going on, is to change out the cartridge. A bunch of print head clean. Oh, I'm sorry. You're also going to flood your print head. So that's going to make it even worse by doing a bunch of print head cleanings. You need an extra set of cartridges so that you can put it in there. If you put another one in there, everything is set up, it's a brand new cartridge and it's still messing up, then most likely it's your print head. If you put another one in and it's working, hey, you didn't lose anything. You didn't waste hours. You didn't waste time. You couldn't do orders because you're doing all this. You simply change it out. All right, it's working. Boom, keep it moving. I can finish my order. You guys have to get another set of cartridges. Like I said, go to Walmart, Best Buy, get one right then. Even though it is a pigment ink printer, don't listen to people saying, oh, once you put pigment ink in there, it's hard to go back to sublimation. That is not true. You will put that pigment ink one in there. If it's working, then you know that, hey, you still have to order another set of refillable cartridges because that is now pigment ink. It is easier just to order another set of cartridges and have those in, because you're still, if the issue is the cartridge, you still need a refillable one. So just go to shop.silaholics.com. Link is in the description, and get another set of cartridges. DTF is a great way. It's a new way that people are going. But the bold end situation is still the same as when they released the 7820, 7840. For me, that showed their intentions at that time. I mean, I knew that eventually it would change, but they normally don't change the non all-in-one so fast. I was actually shocked by them changing I knew it would eventually, because I said in the video, it is eventually going to change because the shape of all of Epson printers has changed. So I knew that that was coming. I just didn't expect it to be this fast. No matter for sublimation, I use plain paper, bright white. Well, I don't use it for sublimation, but I still recommend plain paper, bright white. So I have a link that goes over my sub settings. I recommend using that one. Let me grab that link for you. And it works. That's the same one that I use on the 7820. For sublimation, you really don't need premium matte. All those little things that's floating around, premium matte, change the saturation, change this. Who taught y'all this? Like, who y'all get this from? That is not the move. There is the link for the video on changing your sub settings. She says, I agree. My 7720 was $450, worth every penny. If dust gets on the heads of the 7710, 7720, can you clean it and use it? There should be no way that dust will get to the print heads, because I mean, you have the cover and it's like on the bottom. Is it somewhere else? Like, that's very, it's rare that dust is going to get there unless there was like a sandstorm and the whole thing got covered. Then it's like probably dust everywhere. But I'm not sure understanding that. As far as it being, is there something going on with it? Why you think that there's dust in or on the print head? Or do you mean inside the top portion? Like there were no ink cartridges in it, and where the ports are, there's a bunch of dust in there. Is that what you're referring to? I brought INKCREDIBLE when I thought I was getting the 7710. Can I use that with the 7840, which was the only one I found in wide format? You can use the ink. You cannot use the cartridges. The cartridges are totally different. This is the cartridge for the 7840, 7820. This is the cartridge for the 7710. So they are totally different. You cannot use them in that printer. The ink, yes, but you will have to get the cartridges and you will have to purchase additional chip clips, because once the chip runs out, you have to take the clip off, throw this away, and put a new one on. No different than going to the store and purchasing a new cartridge. In this case, you're able to keep your sublimation ink in there and your non-smearing pigment ink in, and you just change out the chips. How long have you had your 15,000? No, that's different. There is such a thing as photo black for ink wise. So all of the, so like let's say with the 8550, all of the colors are dye inks. They're all dye. Let me see. Do I have my dye inks up here? I normally keep them up here to show the difference. But they're all dye inks, and the black is a pigment ink. So photo black. Oh, come on. How in the heck I don't have not one up here? But like with these, even with this one, the cyan, magenta, and yellow, like when it comes just from the store, is their dye inks. And then the black says photo black because it is pigment. So in the world of regular inks, there is a difference between photo black and dye inks. Photo black just means that it's a pigment ink. It is waterproof ink, and the rest are dye. But in the world of sublimation, black is black. There is no photo black or regular. It's just black. for sublimation ink. There is no difference in the two. You can have different colors, not a photo black and like a regular sub black, because there is no such thing as it being waterproof. So that's what I mean. Like there is no such thing as photo black sublimation ink. If you can get your hands on a 15,000, definitely get it. I mean, it's really like, it's more cost effective because you only have to buy 4 colors of ink instead, or 4 bottles of ink instead of having to buy 6, like the 8550. So if you can get the 15,000, you can get it. I'm not saying it's not without issues, because I've helped so many people that have issues with the 15,000 or try and talk them off the ledge because they're pissed off with theirs. But it is the most cost effective EcoTank wide format version, because it is the cheapest and you only need 4 bottles of ink. The new one, which is the 8550, you need 6. You need to have an additional black and you have to have a gray. It's a sawgrass, love. So I think someone said something about that's so crazy. You can now buy sublimation paper in Michael's and Joann's because they now have the sawgrass sublimation paper. That's a great move because it's a big wave. I knew it was going to happen. Cricut infusible ink is nothing but sublimation. And for people to see, and for big companies to see how much of a wave that is with sublimation, Cricut set the ball in motion to where I'm not surprised that you can now buy sublimation paper. So if you run out of sublimation paper, people always ask, is there a store I can go to? Now you can go to Michael's and Joann's and get sublimation paper. It's $24.99 or $25 for Sawgrass sublimation transfer paper, 100 sheets, 8.5 by 11 for $25. Now, I don't think, because it's a smaller sawgrass, they're probably not going to have bigger sizes, but you can at least get that one. So when people say, as far as like the sublimation, it's just a sawgrass. And if they're selling it for $700, is that how much I paid for my sawgrass? Yeah. So that's all it is now you can have nothing. Like, I mean, as someone that sells ink and paper, it's like, damn, because they can now go there to get it like easily from stores. But it's a smart move. It really is. Like, it's crazy that this is something that crafters use. Crafters are into sublimation. They're getting these printers, but you could never go to a craft store to get sublimation ink, to get sublimation paper, to buy a sublimation printer. Now you can. It's always made sense. I never understood why you couldn't. But oh, that was this comment. Now you can't. But that's a sawgrass. Is that how much I paid for my sawgrass? I don't remember, but that's probably the regular cost of sawgrass. And that's only 8.5 inches wide. And if you want to go longer, you need a bypass tray. They're not going to come out with the 13. For them, in their minds, they've satisfied the small format. They gave you a 24-inch and they gave you an affordable $349 8.5-inch printer. They're not going to come out with a 13-inch wide printer. They're just not going to. Let's see. I thought I could not print 3 weeks on my 2720, and that's not true. That bad boy had color missing, and I had to do 4 print head cleanings, and now it has, I had to do 4 print head cleanings, and now it has lines in my print. I've gone several, and that's the thing. I'm not sure if it's climate, how it's stored. I don't know if maybe keeping your printer on hurts This printer, from when I did, what did I do with it? I did something with it. I went 4 weeks, probably more than that. It was unplugged. It was sitting on the dining room table. I plugged it in. I never had one issue with how it printed out all the colors printed. But other people will go and they print it every single day and they have lines. I don't know. Knock on wood, because if it goes out, I'm gonna be mad. But I went a long time. So there really is no, you can't say, oh, it's because you don't print. You can't leave, you can't turn it off. I purposely it was unplugged for 4 weeks. I plugged it in and it still works. So what does that mean for those of us that have a 7710? Oh, that means nothing. That means you are winning. That means that it is golden. Now, if it ever goes out, you will have to adjust your prices, because you're now going to have to take a more expensive route to continue to do sublimation. But it means nothing. It means you are golden. We're still going to carry the cartridges in case anything happens. The ink is still the same. It's just that hopefully nothing happens to it, because then you'll have to get one of these beasts and they're not the greatest. I'm super late. I just purchased a 7310 for $199 from Epson to use for pigment ink. I need to watch the replay. So with the 7310, well, with these in general, I find that the black ink for that is not the greatest. It smears. I did a whole video. I showed when I printed to glossy items. So since you're using it for pigment, if you're going to use it for stickers, it's going to scratch off of glossy items. Even when I printed to if I printed to cheap paper, I didn't see a big difference. When I printed to good paper, the black never fully like dried. It was more like a powder and it smeared. So that's why I always recommend, getting the refillables, which we do sell them on our website. And I print all the time. This was printed. This was printed from the 7820, which is basically the all-in-one of the 7310. And nothing ever had, like you can see, great blacks with it. It doesn't smear. And we sell the refillable cartridges and the chips. It is still more cost effective to buy the refillable cartridges and chips than it is to go straight through Epson. A full set of XL cartridges will cost you $128.90 some odd cents. So basically almost near $130. If you buy the chips from our site, it's only $73 for the entire set. So you are still saving $60. So it's a good thing to get the refillable system for the 7820, the 7840, and the 7310. Can you convert your Epson 7710 from Summation back to pigment? You can. However, it is a longer process to go back. You cannot switch it back and forth between prints, but you can go from a sublimation straight back to a pigment ink printer. The ink that comes with those printers is pigment ink. So what you have to do is get a set of 252 cartridges empty, which we do have on our website, shop.silaholics.com, and you will create a cleaning solution with distilled water or purified water. Either one of them will work. Alcohol and a few drops of dish liquids. I have a whole video on that. You will create those cartridges. You'll put them in there. You'll run one pre-head cleaning. Here is where your purge files come in handy. It's not going to help clear a line, but it will help push the ink out. So you will put them in there. You will print purge files until your paper starts to show basically almost white. So that lets you know you have cleared out all of the sublimation ink. Once that's cleared out, you put your refillable cartridges, which you can get from shop.silaholics.com. We have the pigment ink set. You'll put those in there and you will let it do its pre-head cleaning, and then you will print purge files until the color comes in, and then you're set, ready to go. That is what the purge is really for, is to purge out other ink. It really doesn't help with clearing lines. And I've done the research. I listened to people before, and I started to do me like I know I should do and research and test, and I tested it and realized it really doesn't help any. I have the Sawgrass as well. They both doing the same thing. Oh, you're just having bad luck with your printers, my dear. All I can say is try new cartridges. That is going to be your first step in correcting the issue and really testing the issue, is to buy new cartridges and see if the new cartridges are doing the same thing. Do I have a video for people that did the firmware update? There's nothing to it. Firmware updates does nothing to your printer. It has no effects, beneficial or adverse. It does not stop it from running. If it is no longer working, then something else happened. Your chip on your cartridge went bad. You broke a pin on the inside. I had 4 different 7720s. I had my 2 pigments, my Summation, and then the one that my sister had. They all, well, no, 2 of them. So there were 3 different firmwares on all of them. You do know that when you get a brand, like when they're manufacturing them, they're not manufacturing them with the old firmware. It comes with the new firmware and you can still use it. So it does not make, I never understood people say, don't do the firmware. And I'm like, do y'all think when they're manufacturing the new ones, like since the firmware, they are putting the old firmware on there? No, they're putting the new firmware. So if you have a new one, you're already operating in that new firmware and you still can use your refillable cartridges. So why do people say that you can't? I was like, I never understood that. Like, that's not what that's for. But don't even worry about it. It does absolutely, you don't need to revert it or go back. If your printer is not working, it is for something else, not due to the firmware. I can guarantee you that. If you bought a new set and it's still doing it, then your print head is bad. So if you have a new set, it's still doing it, that print head, that particular line is probably gone. It is really easy to change though. You can change out the print head carriage of those printers. So, well, not the whole thing, but you can change out where the pins are and the print head. So just buy a replacement part. That's another great benefit of like these printers. It's easy to fix those things. On the EcoTanks, you can't. So you can go to several sites that have it and get the print head replacement, and you'll change out that whole mechanism for the print head. So you're saying we can do print head cleanings with regular ink, meaning put like if you have a cartridge based one, yeah, you can do a print. I mean, you're going to have to still put the other one back, and then you're going to have to do another print head cleaning to push that ink out. But if you had to test it for like just troubleshooting purposes, yes, you can use the original Epson cartridge and let that be your tester to see if there is an issue with the printer itself or the cartridge. Mine will be on the site on Saturday. They will go live, and we don't have a lot of them. We only have a few. And remember, we are not selling the printer by itself. You have to buy our entire setup with our Honestly Speaking products as well. We will not have the printer by itself. You're either going to buy a full setup with all things Honestly Speaking for Sublimation, or you can get it where you're just getting the ink bundle for Pigment ink. But you will not be able to buy the printer by itself. Yes, people are paying a lot for these printers. A lot. You are very welcome. Someone had one on Facebook Marketplace and said it was dust on the heads. I would ask for a picture to see if it's like on the top part, because you can't really get it on the bottom. If it's on the port part, that's different. Or if it's like dust on top of the cartridges, I would ask for a picture. Yes, if you have not opened it, you will. You can email us. We will send you a return label, and then we can create an order for the difference, and we will send you an invoice for the difference, because there is a difference in price from the 7710, which has refillables, and the chip resetter and then the 7840. The cartridges and the chips themselves cost way more than the ones for the 7720. So you can send it back and we will send you the price difference. Or if you just order the set, once that one comes back, you'll just get a refund minus your shipping cost. Thank you so much. It's a huge difference than my 7720. This one has 9 cartridges for my DTF. I'm beginning. Yeah, and then you have to just, it's a lot more, and then you have to put certain colors like in those ports. So yeah, it's a big difference for that one. Okay, so back in March. So you haven't had yours for a long time. Those who have had theirs for a while, I'm talking like 8 months to a year, end up having issues. I mean, I've even helped some people that had theirs for a few months and it was just a bad printer. Epson does sell duds, and then if they don't have those anymore, you're just out of luck. Even if you're under warranty, there's nothing they can do if they don't have those printers anymore. Yep, it will be everywhere. Let's see. It doesn't compare to your paper though. I tried it. I don't like it. I will use regular white paper first. It wastes a lot of ink with my 7210. That's why you got to stay stocked up on that HS ink paper. You got to stay stocked up on that HS ink paper. Technically, they have sublimation blanks. Cricut blanks are sublimation blanks. Infusible ink is nothing but sublimation. So, but as far as like just regular ones that's not branded, I'm pretty sure they will. I went into Joann's, and with everyone doing the yard cards, you can buy yard cards from from Michael's. I don't know if I saw them in Joann's, but I saw them in Michael's. So all the trends that we make popular, if it was oversaturated, Joann's and Michael's would not be jumping on it. Like, there is no such thing, y'all. It's how you are forging your way through this whole custom craft business. I've gone months without printing on my 7720 and no problems. Thank God. Is there a tutorial for paddles from Dollar Tree? Okay, that's not what this was about. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't answer that one. I don't have one. There are probably some people that have it, but I don't do them. I have never done them. I've gone a year without printing. Now, a year without on which printer? And it still works? Now, that seems a bit far-fetched to where it still prints beautifully without any print cleanings. That seems a bit far-fetched. I've gone as much as 2 months, and I had breaks in my magenta and my black. Do you use your Summation ink in your Sawgrass printer? You cannot use the ink that we sell. Our ink in our bottles is water-based ink. Sawgrasses use gel-based inks. As of right now, I don't believe that there are refillable cartridges for the 500 and the 1000. There might be like remanufactured cartridges or like the single-use cartridges, but I don't believe that there are refillables for the 500 where you have to put gel ink. So it's a totally different ink. Do not ever put water-based ink in your Sawgrass because it uses a gel-based ink. Yep, she says, I went 3 months, never had an issue printing, and it was powered off. In the midst of moving, I found I have a Sawgrass 400 printer. It has been in storage for at least 5 to 6 years. Oh, whoa. It was stored with the ink cartridges in it. Is this printer still usable? I have no idea because I've never had a Sawgrass. I'm not sure how their print heads work. All you can do is power it on and see. I have 2 7710s, one for Summation and one for Pigment ink. Try switching out the cartridges. Where can I find these items? The ink cartridges and all of that, or which items were you referring to? Because I'm kind of far behind. So which items are you referring to? These new printers run out of ink too fast. That is true. The way that they print out, they do run out of ink very fast, and you have to end up just buying new chips. That is the downside of what's to come for sublimation. So it's either like a lot of people say with Sawgrasses, you can get them. The ink cartridges are very expensive, but they do say that they last a really long time. So you're now going to have to decide where do you have money to spend at, on the front end or on the back end, because you're either going to pay more for the printer and like the ink, but it'll last you longer, but you have to make that first initial investment of the printer, and then it's the investment every time you buy ink, but then they will last longer. Or you buy a less expensive printer, but you are paying a little bit more, so less than the Sawgrass, but a little bit more than the old 7720s for ink replacement. I converted my 7720 for sublimation. It's been great, but I started getting lines and the black will not print. Any suggestions? For that, my suggestion is to try the pushing the air. There's a couple different things that could be wrong with it. When you are doing it, first things first, when you are wanting to test it, is to do a nozzle check to see if a color is missing or like there's breaks. Then you want to inspect your cartridges. There are two types of cartridges. There is the kind that's like this that has a circle chamber for the regulars. All of the black ones have the circle chamber in it. Is it primed? Is there ink inside of your circle chamber? If there is not, you need to prime it. I do have a video on how to reprime it. It's taking your syringe, putting it in the fill hole, covering the port up with your thumb, pulling it up to fill that in. So if that was the issue, you put it back in there, it should be good to go. Make sure that you don't have the vent plug in your cartridge when it's in your printer. If all of those things, it's primed, you don't have the vent plug, then there is air in your print head. You need to follow my video on pushing air through the line, and that will clear out any air pockets that's in there and clear out any breaks in your print head. I've never done that. I just got someone who sent me some samples of it. I have never done that. But she says, is it better to sublimate on clear HTV or white? Oh, well, as far as that, you cannot sublimate to white at all. That's why they came out with Easy Sublimate. You can sublimate to glow in the dark, which is a white vinyl, but it will glow. But you cannot sublimate straight to white HTV. That is why there was Easy Sublimate. So the clear one only works on white shirts, to where you can put that on cotton shirts and then see the image through it. Professor. Again, I say, and that is why you are the professor. Thank you. Will you do that same process if you're using the 7720 with pigment ink and want to convert to sublimation, the purging process that you were explaining? No. To go from pigment ink to sublimation, it's one print head cleaning. I don't care if you did one print or if you have done a million prints on it. It is one print head cleaning to go from pigment ink to sublimation. Don't believe me? Watch the video I did on Monday. I showed it start from finish on my mom's printer. One print head cleaning is all it takes. I have other videos too, but that is the most recent one on Monday. I converted my mom's 7210. It's one print head cleaning. When buying a used printer, what questions should you ask? How long has it not been in use? If it hasn't been in use, does it have ink cartridges in it? Because that can help save the print heads. You want them to does it power on? So you need to see a picture of it powered on, and it doesn't cost anything, whatever. For if it's ink in there, they can do a nozzle check. So you want to have them do a nozzle check and see how that comes out. If it is broken up really bad, maybe you can meet them somewhere public and you want to power it on. You want to push the ink through it and then do a print head cleaning and a nozzle check. If it's not working after that, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. What are your thoughts on the Epson F570 sublimation printer? Thanks and God bless. It is a sublimation printer. It's 8.5 inches wide, so it's really no different than having one of these. The only difference is you're not going to have issues with colors when printing from a program such as Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity. The issue with those, like the F570 and the F170, is they don't work well without a color profile. You cannot put a color profile in if you're like me and you use Silhouette Studio, or you're trying to use just like Cricut Design Space or non-graphic designing programs. You have to then learn how to use those programs, or at least how to print from them, and put your color profile in so that your colors come out accurately. Most people who I help don't get accurate colors when it comes to printing from Silhouette Studio with those. Also with that one, like I said, it is True Color. You want to get their inks, their bottles of ink. Sometimes they are sold out. I've looked for them, and sometimes it is harder to find the ink bottles, like all of them for those. And it kind of sucks because if you put a different brand in there, you kind of throw your colors off. But other than that, it's a printer. If I had to choose between getting one of those and getting a 3710, a 4700, a 4760, those printers are naturally $249 for features that you will never, ever, ever, ever use. You're never going to use duplex printing. You're never going to use the automatic document feeder. We're like, well, you might use it, but it's not going to be beneficial for you when it comes to Sublimation. So those printers are for home offices. They cost more money because they have features that will benefit those in a small office setting who are using regular ink. Being able to duplex print, being able to have an automatic document feeder. Some of them, the feature is they print faster. And some of the other ones, like this bad boy is slow as heck. Okay, it is slow. So there are features like that. If you are looking at the 4760 and all of those that are $249 to $300, I would just go ahead and put in the extra of either 50 or $100 and get this F170 before I pay for a 4700 that's not made for sublimation. If you need a pigment ink printer, you want to jump on one of these 7720s that I will have on the website on Saturday, or you're going to have to get a 7820 or 7840 or the 16600. All of the others, can you put pigment ink in it? Yes, I have one of these, the 2720, that has pigment ink in it. The colors are slightly off because that is not what that printer is made for. The color profile for it and the firmware for it is for dye inks. So the colors are slightly off and the resolution is not that great. Sublimation, you don't have to have a printer that has a great resolution. Pigment ink, oh, you bet your bottom dollar, you better have one that has great resolution so that your chip bags, your labels, your stickers, your centerpieces, your cutouts, your explosion boxes, your Hershey's bar wrappers, all that, so that you have great colors. You want to have a printer that has a very good print resolution. The ones on my site, about $700 to $800 for the full set. What printer should I use for pigment ink? I want to be able to do colored shirts. Any printer. So for pigment inks, the only printers that are pigment inks on the Epson line are the 7820, 7840, and the EcoTank 16600. Those are those are true pigment ink printers that are wide format. All the others are not. Unless you have a computer compatible, unless you don't have a computer compatible with the new firmware, right? This is something that I found in my journey with this, that if you have an older model computer with not enough, if you have an that's a printer issue. I mean, that's a computer issue. Yeah, that will be correct. It won't run the new firmware. Would this information be correct? I have an older iMac and haven't done a firmware update. Normally they unless you have iMacs are really different. They're kind of okay. But you don't need to do the firmware update. But if it's like a really, really outdated one, at some point you're going to have to update your computer because it's not just the firmware, it's just the updates in general, that will affect how your machines run. Even with Windows, when Windows did that update, I had to get a USB port because I cannot plug my Cameo straight into my computer because it's not a USB 3. So outdated computers will drastically affect how your machines work. I got a 7820, I think, or 7840, but I want to use it for pigment ink. What do I need to purchase from your site for it? All right, let's go over here. The ink that comes with it is pigment ink. That's the first thing that you should understand. The ink that comes with it is pigment ink. So definitely use the ink that comes with it, except for the black. With the black, it is an ink that's not, you're not going to find that it's going to work so great. But on our site, once you zoom down right here, this is just the cartridges and the syringes and needles. This is the cartridges, syringes, and needles, and the ink. Well, this is Sublimation. For pigment ink, it costs the same amount. You would add this to your cart. If you're going, I'll tell you now, this does it wastes a lot of ink. So you will need to get your chips for it for your next refill. So add that to your cart. And then you're going to go over here to pigment ink and you're going to add the full set of pigment ink to it. The only reason why we did not do a bundle is we were trying to keep people from buying the set that had pigment thinking they were getting it for sublimation. So we made it to where the pigment ink, you just have to do it separately because it costs the same. There is no discount for it, like buying it like that. It's the same. Even if you look at the sublimation one, if you bought them separately, it would cost the same. So we purposely did not make it a bundle so that people did not mistakenly click on this one thinking they were buying sublimation. Like, let's say the sublimation one was sold out and they're thinking, oh, I can just get this one. It looks the same. We did not want that to be an issue. So we left it separate. But you would just get the pigment ink bottles, the 4 bottles, and you would get the empties of this. So not this one. You would get this one and you would get the pigment ink. And that's on shop.silaholics.anonymous.com. All right, let's see. I have 7720s and a 7210. Those are the printers I have. I have a 7720 and 7210. Where do I go to purchase your gift cards? So for the giveaway, once you go to home, you click where it says enter giveaway, and the gift cards are there for the giveaway to win the 7720, the ink bundle, the ink, the paper, and the heat tape. So just click where it says enter giveaway. Let's see. I'm just joining. I'm sorry to ask, but is pigment ink used on cotton shirts? I'm confused. So yes and no. You can use pigment ink to put designs on a cotton shirt, but you cannot press. There is no method in the world where you can print directly to a cotton shirt from a inkjet printer where you're just pressing directly to it. You're going to either have to do like DTG, where, I mean, that one you use the big printer and you put your shirt in it and it's direct to garment. You can do DTF, but again, that is on a film. You print it on a film. You have to put adhesion powder on it and you press it to it. That is DTF. That is not pigment ink. The only way to put a design on a shirt using pigment ink is to use Jet Pro 3G, Avery for darks. So it's this thing. This is the only way to apply a design to a cotton shirt from a pigment ink printer is to use some sort of transfer, whether it's Jet Pro 3G, Jolie for dark, AB for darks, Pen and Gear for darks, the one from Office Depot. It must be a printable transfer. And these are thick. When you say not open, are you speaking of the package or in so the products cannot be used. You could not have put them in your printer or anything like that. Like you can't open them and have the seal punctured on it. I mean, if you open up the box, that's not it. But the the actual product cannot be opened. It's been so long, I don't even remember what your question is now. I'm not even gonna lie. Facts, they have been spying on us for years. Hell, even Target. Listen, I got my sample pack of your paper and I'm mad. I told y'all, y'all could get that sample pack, but you was going to be mad at yourself. I told you. Oh, I didn't just get the roll because, baby, that paper is the truth. I be telling y'all going to be mad if y'all don't get that HS ink paper. It is, I don't tell lies. It honestly speaks for itself. It's the bomb.com like that. Have you ever used a SureColor T31 wireless printer for Summation? I have not. I don't have any large format printers. I pretty much deal in desktop type printers. I personally don't have a need in my business for a wide format. I don't even like doing shirts. When I got into Sublimation, I wanted to only do small items. If you are new here, you will quickly find out I am team small. I will do a demo on a tumbler, a mug, a luggage tag from Glow's Custom Creations, all this other stuff I have in here before I want to do a shirt or anything large. I am team small. There is so much money to be made in making small items. You can do them a whole lot faster. You can produce, there's just so much money to be made. So I personally, unless I had like a full on shot where I'm just like, I'm known for making shirts, would I consider that? But I have no desire to get a large format Sublimation printer. No desire whatsoever. I like team small. When push comes to shove, would you go with the Sawgrass or Epson SureColor wide format? Oh, for me, it's going to be an Epson all day, every day. All day, every day. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Facts on the one printhead cleaning. I just called my local store. They do have the 15,000. I'm very nervous with purchasing it from all the info I've heard. Like I said, it is the most cost-effective wide format EcoTank printer. Prayerfully, everything, if anything does happen, it can be a pain in the butt to get it to work. Do understand that it is a dye-based printer, so your colors will be slightly off with using it compared to using a pigment ink printer, which every single company that sells pigment ink, sells Summation ink, it is based off of pigment ink color profile because those are the printers that was mainly used for it. Like they were mainly made for. The best printer for Summation is the 7840 now. Is there a refillable cartridge for it? Can you give me a review? All what I need. My two 7210s are great now. If you have those, then, I mean, if you're looking for, by the time those go out, I don't know if that will be the one, but yes, I did go over that. I've said it in quite a few videos. There are refillable cartridges. There's not resettable chips. The chips are what control the printer. So you do have to continue to purchase chips every single time it runs out and it gives you that X. The cartridge may still have ink in it. It may run out. With the 7820 and the 7840s and now the 7310s, you must monitor the ink that is in those cartridges. I don't like the style cartridges, but unfortunately, that's what they have now. I have asked my vendor about whether or not I can get these made like this. Well, it's like this one. because these, by the time you get an X, the ink is normally to this line. With this one, I've had situations where I still have prints available on my chip, but there is no ink. I'm like, it's printing. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And that's how I discovered that with these, the ink just flows out of it. This will be out of ink, but the chip still works. So when you have a 7820, a 7840, and now the 7310, you need to monitor the amount of ink that you have in here. You need to monitor that, how much ink is actually in here. Or after so many prints, like you can, well, actually, no, with this one, they made it to where you can't even just refill it. It really sucks the way they did it. Anytime you hit ink cartridge replacement to release the door, guess what? You have to, it does a printhead cleaning. It does an initializing. Every time you open that, even if you don't do anything to it, the minute you close it, it initializes every single time. And it basically does a printhead cleaning. So that kind of sucks. That's what sucks. This goes through a lot of ink because it does so many maintenance cycles. It sucks. That's why the heck I turn mine off, because I hate those maintenance cycles. But this is what you will have to get. It is the 812 cartridges. They will come with chips, and you have to keep taking the clip off and putting a new clip on that has a chip. This one doesn't have a chip on it, but they do come with chips on them. The changes with the Epson printers. Thank you. Thank you. You're awesome. Learned so much today. I love both my 7210s, one for Pigment, the other for Sublimation. I need a wide format printer. Which one is the best? I do a lot of images for birthdays and baby showers. If you can get a 7720, you can find a 7210. Like if Epson happens to drop them, I recommend that you all go to the Epson site, go to the 7210 printer, and click notify me, just in case they drop some more. Have your coins ready. Not, oh, well, you know, I still got, I'm $50 short. Don't touch that money. Have your $199 plus your taxes and shipping ready, so that if they drop that printer, you are able to jump on it. That is going to be your best option for that. If they don't ever drop anymore, then you have to make a decision on how much you want to spend. So for those who are just kind of coming on, if you join late, I'll do a quick recap of what this video was about. My fear came to pass in that they have, or it will soon be posted that the 7210 is discontinued. The 7210 is the non-all-in-one version of the 7710, 7720 series of printers that uses the 252 cartridges that can be reset. So you can just have this to use a chip resetter, or wait for it to say X, take it out, put it back in. It's just going to keep resetting itself, or use a chip resetter to reset it. I was on their site and I saw that they have the 7310 now. That is just like, it's the non-all-in-one version of the 7840 and the 7820. It uses these cartridges, the 812s. With these are not resettable chips. You have to purchase new chips and replace the chips every time. Previously, before they created the chips, you had to buy Epson cartridges. Never use that ink. Those cartridges go in the trash because you took the chip off. The chip is what controls the cartridge, not the ink inside. So you had to buy Epson cartridges, take them off, put them on your refillables. Well, now we do sell the chips and it's a lot cheaper. You'll save about $60 compared to buying the Epson ones, and you just take it off and put it back on. So it is an option, but it is a more expensive option in the long run. The printers cost the same amount. You can get the 7840 retails for $299. That's the same amount that the 7720 retail for. Yes, I know most people got them for much cheaper because they were always on sale. Those have been on sale for $199 a time or two also. But it is more like they technically are the same type of printer, so they cost the same. But in the long run, you're going to spend more. When I did, like, if you had like a $300 budget, you would get 4 refills for $300, 4 and some change for $300. Because the refill chips are, well, the replacement chips are $73 for the set. So it's going to cost you more in the long run, which means you're going to have to adjust your pricing when you are pricing out your sublimation items, because you're now going to pay more. The $15,000, if you can find it, I have not seen it in quite some time. It is the next best option for sublimation. Again, the colors will be slightly off, but that is one where you can use 4 colors of ink. The next one after that is the 8550. It uses 6 inks, 2 blacks, cyan, magenta, yellow, and a gray. 2 regular blacks. You ain't got to buy no special one. You can put your regular black. If you already had some black ink, put that in the other slot. 2 blacks, cyan, magenta, yellow, and gray. And it also costs $100 more than the $15,000. So now you have to pay more for the printer, and you got to restock 6 bottles of ink, 6 of them for that particular printer. So it's going to cost you more in the long run. The 1600 and the 16650 are only 4 colors, but they cost $1,000 and $1,124 respectively. So it's going to cost you more money. There is no such thing as best. They pretty much all do the same thing. The only difference is the print speed. These print way slower. Oh, you can't see it. Than the one down there. They're not the greatest on ink. They're not the greatest on printing. But that's your options. You have to weigh your options on what it is that is most beneficial to you. There is no best. There really is no best. Once they got rid of the 7720 and the 7710, those were literally the best printers that you could possibly have, whether it was for pigment or for sublimation. The quick print quality of freaking amazing. It's low, it's cost effective as far as upkeep of it. Very easy to fix any issues with it. They were quote unquote the best ones. Now it's like a toss up. Okay, thank you. I brought the iMac in November. It was supposed to be a new one with Big Sur, and they messed me over. I've been dealing with this on Amazon forever. Thank you ever so much for your help. You are welcome. I could have sworn I blocked you while you back on here posting foolishness. I have a 7720 and I use it for sublimation, and my colors have never been right. What do you suggest? What print settings do you use? That would be my first question to you. Let me know, what print settings do you use? I have a 7210 and a 70. I have a 7720 and a 7210. Doesn't matter which one I set up for pigment and which one for sublimation. I would recommend, the same way I told my mom, I would recommend setting your 7720 up for pigment ink and your 7210 for sublimation. For sublimation, you're never going to need to use the copier machine on it. So if you needed to print out regular things, a receipt of some sort, it's better to be able to scan that and copy it and print it out. So you want to keep your 7720 as your regular and your 7210 as your sublimation, because all you need to do with sublimation is print it out. That's all you need is a printer. You don't need all the other bells and whistles for sublimation. I'm going to have to get another roll of paper. Dang it, HS be taking all my coins. Better get them rolls, because it will, unfortunately, once the ones we have run out, it'll be like 2 months. Like 40 days until we get more. It sucks with stuff coming to Miami. I'm mad you don't sell 11 by, wait, I'm mad you don't sell 11 by 17. I have to make it work with the 8.5, with the 8-inch roll next. I don't sell 11 by 17 what, paper? We sell 11 by 17 paper. I'm team HS paper. We sell 11 by 17. I seen a video where they printed on a dark shirt with clear Caesar paper. You cannot print on a dark shirt with clear. It's clear. So if you press a design on ink is translucent, you're going to see the color of the shirt through there. So they didn't, unless they put a white one down, printing on a color shirt makes no sense because it is still clear. You're going to see the shirt through there. It's not going to be vibrant. It's not going to be an opaque picture. So I'm not sure what they did, but they definitely did not put clear straight to a dark color and had a true print. There's no way. Which printer can I, what printer can I do sublimation on colored tops? None. I mean, you can print to it, but it's going to affect the color. You can sublimate to anything that is polyester, but as I mentioned on that one, ink is translucent. You're going to see whatever color garment that is, where there should be white is going to be the garment color. Wherever there's, oh, perfect example. Yesterday's live, bam. This is what happens when you use, oh, wait, where's my C? Oh, come on. Where's the C? This is the perfect example of that with putting to color. Come on, where are you? Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Where is that dang on C? Ah, come on. I just had that sucker. Crapola, crapola, crapola. Well, I did a video yesterday and I subbed to a solid piece of wood. One side was painted white and one side was just the wood. And you can see the difference in the color. So you can sub two colors. I can't find that. I'll show you my color charts. I don't have the corresponding one for this one. Dang it, I don't know what happened to my C. This is on pink, right? This is that same color chart, well, minus the yellows on white. Look at the difference in the colors. So it's not going to be a true color whenever you press to anything that is color. Can you? Yes. Can you get some great colors? Yes. Will it match the same way it's on a white shirt? No. The only way to do that is to use a white base transfer. I also have, I love my 7210, 7710s, 7227, I have not had any issues. I also have the 7610. Now, my 7610, I hadn't printed on in about a year. I almost threw it out until I watched your video to clean it, and it works perfect. Yep, see, my videos are very helpful. That's an investment, and you can make that money right back. I use the recommended settings that everybody was suggesting with the premium presentation mat, etc. Can you tell me the settings that I'm supposed to use? I just posted the link. I will post it again. I use plain paper, bright white, set to high quality. Under color controls, I use Adobe RGB 1.8. I do not change anything on saturation, contrast. I do change the density because with our paper, it has a high resin coating on it. So it can get pinwheels if you put down too much ink. So I changed my density, but I use plain paper. Look at my black. Oh, my light's off. Hold on. I just realized it's so dark in here. Ah, there's my C. Yay! It fell on the floor. This is on solid wood, right? So you can see how the colors are. It's a lighter wood, but this is on white. You see the difference? Colored, white. It's a big difference in color. But plain paper setting is what I use. That's how I made this bookmark. This bookmark is sublimated. It's laminated cardstock, and I laminated it. Premium matte does not help you get better blacks. This is premium matte. This is plain paper setting. Plain paper setting right here. And my colors are popping. Plain paper. Black's black. I can't speak for any other papers. I do use Honestly Speaking paper with that. I press this in 30 seconds. 30 seconds is what I press this at. And these are my colors using Honestly Speaking paper and ink. Oh, you mean an 11-inch roll? Yeah, it's really no purpose to sell 11-inch roll. People either have an 8.5-inch wide printer or they have the wide format. So it's like kind of pointless to do an 11-inch because you can do 13 inches. So yeah, we will never carry. So as you say 11 by 17. So it will be 11 inches by 300 feet. It's kind of pointless to sell an 11-inch roll. I'm stocked up on that incredible paper ink. Sorry, not incredible. INKCREDIBLE paper. And when that runs out, I got my rolls. What is the best transfer paper to use? Because OMG, the Cricut does not work at all. I only use Jet Pro 3G opaque. What is the advantage of having a converted printer and a regular Summation paper? I was considering an Epson SureColor F570 instead of converting. The only difference is just the cost, and there really is no conversion. I hate that word. I absolutely hate that word. On our site, it says transform into a Summation. I know that hurts my SEO because every other person, they use the word convert. I hate that word because all you're doing is switching out the ink. So the only advantage or the difference in it is colors. That's it. And that is with the F570, it is made like you have Epson's ink. It's made to match that color profile. If anything should happen to your F170 and you have to send it back to Epson, guess what? They're going to send you back Sublimation ink. You're not losing anything if something goes wrong with it. If something goes wrong with your other eco tanks, especially those super tanks, and you send it back, Epson is not going to send you back Sublimation ink. They're going to send you back the ink that comes with that printer. So now you've lost ink and you now have to buy more ink to fill it up because there's no way to get the ink out of the wide format printers. But other than that, there's really no advantage. Well, I will say the advantage of using a regular Epson one is you can use like Silhouette Studio and some of those and be able to get more accurate colors. With the F170, from everyone that I've helped, it's not that great. Your colors are so off because you really do need a color profile for those. And you can only put color profiles in programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, Inkscape, and things like that. Did you say that we can only use one gift card per purchase? Will you please add a $50 option? A $50 option, what, as for the giveaway? Okay. I'll do it now. Add a variant. Denomination 50. Save. Add a variant. $100. Save. Your wish has been granted, my dear. Just that quick. It goes from that to that. There you go. Your wish has been granted. What's the name of the paper you printed on yesterday? I went to your website, but I was not sure of the roll to get. What paper did I print on yesterday? My Summation paper? I only ever use HS ink paper. Is it possible to have a printer that will take pigment ink and still allow me to use the same? Nope. No possible way. Well, there is one that costs a lot of money. It is a laser one, and they have laser sublimation ink. I forget what it is. So you basically change out the toner. So I'm not going to say that. Inkjet wise, no. But you can pay a very, very high price tag in upwards of $1,500 for the one that you can change out the toners. I know it. That paper is all the business. What is the name of the paper you used for printing yesterday? I went to your website, but I wasn't sure. I'm not sure what you mean because I only use HS ink paper. Do you have a link for the transfer paper you use? It's on. If you go to my Amazon, it's there. I don't purchase it. I purchase mine locally. But just search Jet Pro 3G Opaque and you'll find several places that sell it. Okay, thank you. Going in for my roll now. What? I wish someone asked that sooner. I had to do multiple gift cards. Sorry. I want to transform my 7720 from Sublimation to Pigment. So when I do this, I can use the ink cartridge that comes with the printer for Pigment, or do I need to get refillable cartridges and fill them? Okay, so did you start like when you set it up originally? Did you use the Epson ink cartridges that came with it? If it was a brand new printer, did you use the Epson cartridge that came with it? If you did, then you can use those after you clean out the sublimation ink. If you did not use the cartridges that came with it, you cannot use those anymore. They are trash. You might as well throw them away because when you put them in there, the printer will say, this printer has already been initialized. You cannot use it because it has an eye on it. That, remember, the chip is what controls the printer and controls the ink cartridge. So the fact that that is programmed as an initializing one, you won't be able to use it again. So if you did not set it up with those are trash. You might as well throw them away. You're going to have to get two new sets of refillable cartridges. You're going to have to get a set that you're going to make a cleaning cartridge set, and then you're going to have to get a set to put pigment ink in. So you will need 2 from our website. I didn't use the roll at all yesterday to make this. I printed to 11 by 17 paper. Yesterday's live, I did not use the rolls at all for this. Now I'm trying to think, did I do... yeah, I didn't use the roll at all yesterday. I maybe talked about it, but we do have rolls on our site, 8.5 and 13 inches wide, but I don't recall using a roll yesterday. For this one, I used a roll of laminate sheets. That was just the top portion, but paper wise on our site, I just used 11 by 17 for this. All right. So hopefully this video was I know it's longer than, most people probably want. If you were live, you caught this live. Gone are the days of the easy ways to convert for sublimation or the inexpensive ways. You're going to have to spend some money now because Epson has done away with all refillable options. So if you have one, we will continue to carry the chips, the cartridges for it in case your cartridge ever goes out. You want to have additional cartridges. If you happen to come across another one, you need cleaning cartridges. We will have the 252 cartridges, but they won't, there won't be any more printers that are manufactured that's going to use that particular cartridge. It is going to be deciding between an EcoTank, which aren't the greatest to me, and they print a lot slower, or the 7820, 7840, or 7310. Those are now the workforce printers for Epson. So when people are posting saying get a 7710, 7720, or even a 7210, it is going to be very, very hard. Well, you can't find the 7210 at all anyway. Other than we have the closeout, we will have some on our site on Saturday. It is a full setup. You cannot buy just the printer from us. We're not in the it never fails. I always sneeze. It just happens to be later in the video than earlier. We are not in the business of selling Epson printers. We are in the business of selling, honestly speaking, products. So once you buy that one, you're going to have to buy it either with our full Pigment ink setup or with the full Sublimation setup. We will not be selling them individually. You will be purchasing them with, honestly speaking, products. The set that I'm raffling, I only have 6 of them available. 6. They will be on the website. When I go live on Saturday, they will go live with me on the site. Well, a little bit after, because I'll let you guys know. They will be on the site today. You can click on the notify me when available. I don't have a whole boatload of them. I have 6 setups. 6. So the first 6 people to get on there will be the first 6 people to get it. I have 6 printers, and 6 7720s and 1 7210. So I have a total of 7 printers that will be on the site, and they will be that full setup. They will be the printer, the quick start bundle, a set of heat tape, and a set of paper. That is what the setup will be on there, and it will be about somewhere between 7, I don't know, I forget the exact amount, but it's $700, a little over $700 for that full setup, because we paid I was on live, y'all saw I didn't pay $199 for these printers. They charged me taxes for these printers. I paid shipping for them to get them in. I wanted to make sure I got them, so I paid for the expedited shipping on them. So we paid for shipping. We're getting our money back for that. And then we're adding on the actual cost of our product. So you're getting a full setup with that. And you will also get, with the giveaway, you get a one-on-one session with me. I might throw in a free one-on-one session when you buy that full bundle with me. I just might throw that in there for those who buy that. But the giveaway comes with a one-on-one session with me. But we are not selling the printers by themselves. So if you want that, be prepared on Saturday to pay about $700. Yes, we will always sell those because cartridge, they will go out. I just had to replace a set that was just acting up. More so, I think it was his cyan or whatever. So we literally just had to replace one of the cartridges. My boo thing, he says, tell your husband you now have a gay husband. So my boo thing, Love Montgomery from here in Miami, from was it LLGC LLC? I think I said it right. But he had to come and buy a new set because his cartridges went out. They were not working. So he had to come and get a new set. Those cartridges can stop working. So we will always have them because so many people have these 7720s. We will still carry the chip resetters, which anyone that has a 7720, 7710, 7210, an expressions printer, you need the chip resetter. You need the chip resetter. All right. And we do have those on our website. So we will always carry those. Those are our flagship products. So no, we're going to still sell the cartridges, but they are no longer selling any printers. Before, the last hope for 252s was the 7210, and they have now brought out the 7310, which means they're not going to carry the 7210 anymore eventually. Does the 2720 print 8.5 by 14 or just 8.5 by 11? I'm just making sure I have the correct paper. You can print 47 inches long. You can get a roll and you can cut a sheet up to 47 inches long. So you can use the 8.5 by 11 paper. You can use the 8.5 by 14. If you want to take your 11 by 17 and cut that down and make you an 8.5 by 17, make you an 8.5 by 19 inches, or just simply get the 8.5-inch roll and cut it down. You have to cut sheets from anywhere from 11 all the way to 47.5 inches. You can print that long with it. I did this shirt. This was printed from that printer. This is 19 inches long. 19 inches long. This was printed from that printer right there using our Summation paper rolls. This is what I was looking for. Copy. And here is the link for the roll. No, I didn't use the ones that came with it. Thank you. I will order the 2 sets you suggested. Do you have a video that I can follow to do this? Yes, I have a video. It says create your own cleaning cartridges. That is the video to learn how to do your cleaning cartridges. And on that one, I also converted my sister's printer back because she put the wrong ink in there. So you see me go through that process to get the ink back going. I brought a roll of paper, but having trouble getting my Epson 15,000 EcoTank to pick up the paper. Any tips? I tried to cut it really straight. I don't have a 15,000. I just kind of put mine in there and it goes. So I'm not sure if it's something with the 15,000. Make sure, like, I don't know. Is it not pulling it in at all? Do you leave it in there? When I have mine, I normally wait for it to ask for the paper and tell me that paper is out, and then I put it in there and then I feed it through. And that's what I do on this one. And on my other one, I put it in the tray. I don't have a 15,000, so I'm not sure. The best thing to do is the next time you go to print, do a full video. Let me see with, you know, how it's loading. Post that to our Facebook group, Honestly Speaking 365 Sublimation, and I can kind of see from there what the issue may be. But I can't really tell by just a question. I need to see what's going on when you're loading the paper. So drop a video in my group. On Saturday. Okay, so you said you don't find them on the site. If I go here, you can find them a couple different places. Whether you want, so if you go here to start a set, the pre-filled cartridges are here. So this is the full bundle with everything. Or if you go to Essentials, I don't know why it has it on the last page, but here is the empty ones. And it's the same. It says Pigment, Summation. It's the same one for no matter which one you're using. And if you want them pre-filled without the rest of the kit, it's here. I don't know why this is on the last page. I gotta fix that too. But that's where that's at. Or if you ever search 252, you have empties, pre-fills, and then that was just the label. And everything that's 252 comes up. So just search on the site 252. I brought a 7610 from eBay, like website, and it was It was trash, wasted money. Oh no, sorry to hear that. Dang, that sucks. You need to get your chip resetter. When printing that long, do you print from the rear? I don't. I print from the front. I do not print from a rear feed. I can't even reach mine. What about the XP 15,000? What about it? What question do you have about that one? Roll for the win. I just woke up. So what I gather is that Epson is not making this set. They have not made that in over almost a year, 2 years. Yeah, they haven't made those since the pandemic. They've it's been over a year, not 2 years, but it's been over a year. They've been stopped making those. Yeah, for the Pigment ink. What's everything I need to purchase to use the 15,000? So on our site, what you would need to do is go here to where it says Eco Printer Starter Collection. And all you really need is the ink and the paper and heat tape and rolls if you want to print wider or longer. So this is what you need. I recommend color charts. And then, but material-wise, ink, paper. That's your core. That's it. Ink, paper. Thank you. I love your paper, though. I cut it and load it when I'm ready to print, just like I would pre-cut sheets. Yeah, I'm not sure then. Definitely post the video. Will you start accepting Sezzle Afterpay? We do have that on the site already. I don't know why Sezzle doesn't pop up, but we have under Shop Pay, you can make for a payment. So we've had that on the site for about we've had that on the site for like 3 or 4 months now. 3 months now. Do you have a tutorial on how to use your roll paper? I do. I have several tutorials on it. I actually just did one the other day. I showed how to do it. My mom was here. And well, last week, my mom did her banner. I showed how to load it. I just load it in the front. The same way you would load regular paper in the printer. It's the same way you load that in. I don't do anything different. I load mine through the front. Do you have chips or things to convert into sub? No, I do not. I don't carry anything for those printers. We only have 252 and 812 cartridges. I have a chip resetter, but it keeps saying it doesn't recognize the ink. Always have a second set of cartridges to know that, to test if your chip has gone bad or if there's something wrong with your printer. So you should always have a second set of cartridges. Those chips can go bad with the constant taking them in, putting them out, taking them out, putting them in. They can go bad. Bless you. I'm doing a sign 24 by 30 and trying to remember how you rolled the mask out. It looks like you rolled it completely off the roll, then pressed it to your sign to prevent bubbles. Are you talking about adhesive vinyl? We're not, unfortunately, this is not a general Q&A, so I'm not, can't really answer if it's not about sublimation. Let me get my order in. I need a chip resetter. Oh, wow. Didn't know. Oh, don't know how I missed it. Thank you. You are very welcome. Yep. So look on there, it says it. See, Sezzle is there. I don't know why it doesn't for me. Like when I go, it doesn't come up. But if you go to more payment options, let me just sign in, and you go to Shop Pay, pay in full or 4 installments. So you can do that. I would have to put my number in, but you can do that through Shop Pay. It's through Affirm. We were selected as one of the first people to try out this, where it's built in through Shopify. So if you guys have a Shopify site, you don't necessarily have to apply for like some of those other ones. Shopify should be rolling it out for everyone where you can use Affirm, and it's through your Shop Pay. So if you have a Shopify account, look for that because you can put it on your site as well, Affirm, and it just goes straight through your regular setup. The paper is tacky because once you press it, it will stick to your fabric, hence preventing ghosting, but our paper really doesn't ghost. The benefit for me with it being tacky is when I'm doing an all over shirt, I don't use a hardboard. I just press it and it sticks to that area, so it's not going to move and ghost, and I just continue to press. So that is the benefit for me for it being tacky. But for anything else, you can use it. It's just, we decided to just get the roll in tacky instead of regular for that added benefit of just being able to like stick. But our shirts, we don't really experience ghosting with our paper anyway. What are the printers that print the largest for sublimation? I'll go over it one last time. I'm about to get off of here, guys, because I've been on for 2 hours. Did not realize that. So the only ones that you can use for wide format at this point, which is the whole purpose of this video, if you can find the 7210, jump on it and get it. That's the workforce. The 7720s have been out of circulation for well over a year. The 7710s have almost been like a year and a half, almost 2 years that those have been out of circulation. So you cannot purchase those anymore. Workforce wise, it is going to be the 7820 or the 7840. And now Epson has just released the 7310. The difference with those and all the other printers that you will hear people talk about in Facebook groups is that those do not have a chip resetter or resettable chips. With the other ones, once it shows an X, you can take it out, put it back in. It ideally should reset, or you can use a chip resetter. With those printers, you cannot. They are single-use chips. You will have to go to our site. And when you're on our site, you will have to go to where it says 7820, 7840. Now I'm going to add 7310. And when you buy either the cartridges and needles by itself, or you buy the ink, you will also need to get chips only. It is $73 for the set. The chips, you take them off the clip, and then you throw this away and you put a new clip on. I did make a video on the best way when you first start these. Check that video out because there is a way for you to use the chips that came with the printer. So when you set up these printers, brand new, I should have said this when everybody else was on. I don't care what you read in any group. I don't care what video you watched other than mine. Don't listen to them people. Please, I beg of you, set your printers up with the Epson ink. Set your printers up. Workforce, cartridge base, not eco tanks. Eco tanks, you go straight to sub or straight to pigment. Don't put the dye ink in. But for any cartridge based printers, set it up with the cartridges that came with the printer first. It does not take a month of Sundays of printhead cleanings to get it to work. It is one printhead cleaning. I've done not one, not two, not three, not four. I have done a plethora of videos demonstrating that it is one printhead cleaning, and not within the past year. I have a video that's probably about 2 years old. It's in my living room. My baby was a little teeny bopper. He's 3 now. I think he was barely walking. He might have still been crawling. It's been about 2 years since I made that video in my dining room. A person came over here. I set her printer up for her. One printhead cleaning. Every time. The very first time I converted a printer, it was a 3640. One printhead cleaning. That's it. But it makes it to where you now have a set of cartridges that you can use for troubleshooting, or if you are using it for sublimation, you will set it up with the Epson cartridges. You're then going to take your HS ink cartridges that come with the chips on it. So this bundle right here, you're going to take that, fill them up. You're going to put them inside your printer. Once that set runs out, you can now modify this clip because the Epson chips don't fit on it. You would modify the clip, put those Epson chips on it, and now you can use them. But if you don't use them when you first set it up, you might as well throw those in the trash. You won't be able to use them. Please, when y'all in groups, tell them the professor said set it up with the Epson cartridges first. We have to erase this. Don't set it up with the Epson cartridges. There's more benefits to setting it up with the Epson cartridges first than there is not setting it up. Please let people know to set it up with the Epson cartridges first. It is more benefits to that. And then after that, it's Eco Tanks. It would be the 15,000 if you can find it. The 8550. The 8550, however, you have 6 different inks you have to use, black and gray. And then after that, it's the 16650. That is the super tank. That is the one that cost $1,124. The 8550 is $700. The 15,000, if you can find it, is $600. When Sezzle is not showing up on your site, contact them and they will automatically upload it for you under all of your products. It's under the products. If for some reason it's not showing up on checkout, I know I have to contact them. It's under all the products. It's not showing up at checkout. I'm enjoying the whole 2 hours at work sitting with the patient and you're making me not sleep. Yes. I agree with you 100%. I did. And Minnie said, no, I printed many photos to use the ink, then transform my printer into Sublimation. So glad I watched your live today. Catching all this new information is great. All right, y'all. I am about to hop my behind off of here, though. I did not expect to be on here this long. Although I'm thinking, is there anyone on here who has never seen our paper? Maybe I should do a demo. Maybe I should have did a demo when there was 130 some people watching and not just 101. Is there anyone here who has not heard of our paper and seen our paper in action? I have the 7840 and I would like to just use it for pigment ink only. I followed your 7210 and loved it. So with the 7840, the ink that comes with it is pigment ink. So don't waste that ink, love. Put them Epson cartridges back in there. There is no converting when it comes to pigment ink because that ink is pigment ink. The only thing that you're doing by purchasing our refillable cartridges is saving money. The refillable, new cartridges for a 7820, if you get XL, the total cost for all 4 colors is $128 and some change. After taxes, over $130. If you buy ours, you are saving $60 on the retail cost. The chips cost just $73 for all 4 chips, and it's XL rated cartridge, like XL size. They're not the standard size. It's going to run out like this. When you go and you buy the ones that cost $12.49, they run out like that because they're not an XL cartridge. The ones that we sell, the chips for them are XL. You're going to get more prints out of them. We sell them for $73. So you're saving $60. It is just about cost savings, but the ink is the same, except for the black. The black ink is kind of horrible when it comes to the 7820 and the 7840s. All right, let's see. First time, yes, demo, please. Yes, demo, please. I have not. Demo, please. Never. I have never seen it in action. Heard of it, though. I'm so glad I wandered in. Quite educational. Demo, Elena. Demo, please. I've never seen your paper. Comment and share. I have not. Can I use your pigment ink once it runs out? I already have your cartridges. I only use your ink and paper. So if you have a printer dedicated for pigment ink, yes, you can use our pigment ink once your Epson ink runs out. All right, so let's go ahead and print something out, shall we? Let's see. I don't even have Silhouette Studio open because I had to do an update. So let's open up Silhouette Studio and let's press some ish. All right, let me find a shirt. Oh, my niece says she wants a shirt just like the one I had on yesterday. So let me go get, or let me see if my husband can bring me a youth small shirt. Hey, can you please bring me a youth small shirt? It's in that long box.
You know everything's not.
Sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll make Chris a shirt later then. I'll just pick another shirt. All right, later. I forgot he's moving stuff around in there and nothing is in place. All right, hold on. I have some shirts in here. It's just my niece wanted one like the one that me and MJ had yesterday. Let's see. Maybe small. Ladies large. I think my mother is an extra large. I mean, oh, shout out to her said that. I think my mother is a large, so I'll make her a Professor Taught Me shirt in a ladies large. So let's go over to Silhouette Studio and let's see. File, open recent. And I'm going to set my machine to none. My paper is set to 11 by 17. We're going to go ahead and actually no. Well, with this shirt, 10 and a half inches might work. Let me see something. Hold on. I think I want a full 11. So we're going to set this to 13 by 19. Since my mother did, and I did teach her. So I'm going to stretch this out to, I want it big on her shirt. So let's go like 11 and a half, somewhere in there. All right, bam. We're going to go. So for those who wanted to know my print settings, file, print. We're going to go to my Sublimation printer, preferences. I'm going to click on my 13 by 19, but I'm going to walk you through the settings. It is plain paper, bright white. Hold on, let me switch out. I do have a full video on this, but I'll kind of show you. So you're going to go to preferences, then you're going to go to plain paper setting. You're going to click where it says quality, click on more settings. That is going to bring up this slider. You take it all the way to quality. So see here. And then down, make sure you have nothing in the two-sided printing. For quiet mode, you're going to want to have quiet mode on, as you can see here. On the next page, I have my more options. I have my high speed and my mirror selected. Under color corrections, you're going to go to custom and then advanced. You're going to change that to Adobe RGB, gamma 1.8, and your density is -5. Then you're going to hit OK on that and go up to where it says maintenance and click on that and go to extended settings. There is one change on here, thick paper envelope, and this says -5. I actually use -10 now. So you're going to set that to -10 or -5. It's up to you. Depends on how your printer prints out. You're going to hit OK, OK, and then print. We're going to print that out, and then you're going to see the amazingness of our paper. I think I saw someone say, are those Cricut shirts? No, I don't really care for Cricut shirts. I am a Team 365. I like the one I have on now, I think might be Port & Co. or just Team 365. Yeah, this is Port & Co. Port & Company that I have on. I like Team 365. I like Ultra Club. So that has started to print. Let me see, that says 1242. I use, like I said, I use a bunch of different shirts. Someone says, what kind of shirts are those? I use a lot of different shirts. I don't have just one brand of shirts that I use. How can we get that merch? Someone has asked to put, I don't make them, but someone has asked that I put the file up. That way they can make it. So I will consider putting the file up. For this one, I am about to use a Team 365 shirt. What should you look for when printing to determine the pinwheels? If you're getting a lot of pinwheels. I use Port & Co, Team 3, like almost everything. I have almost every shirt you can think of. I have Port & Co, Port & Company. I have Ultra Club. I have Team 365. I have A4. I have some Hanes. I have some Gildan. I don't like the Gildan, but those are the ones I get from Jiffy. All of those brands, and I printed to every last one of them. This one is Port & Co. I think I have, this is a Team 365 shirt. Oh, my mama can have that one too. This one is Team 365. I know there is an Ultra Club. I think, well, the one I had on the other day was an Ultra Club. I think this is a Gildan. I mean, this was a tester shirt, but this was a Gildan one. Nope, that's a cotton shirt. This is, that's the 5X Team 365. That's my Jet Pro shirt. That's not one of those. Mainly Team 365, because this is a Team 365 shirt too. I know there's some other ones in here because I did them on the live the first day of Sublimation week. Oh, and if you guys don't know, if you want to see that paper in action again, today is sock day. So at 5, don't have me telling the fib. Let me tell you, make sure. So at 7 p.m., we will be doing socks. This is a George brand from Walmart. Team 365. Team 365. Yeah, these are all Team 365s. I've gotten them from Jiffy Shirts, but my Gildan ones I normally get from a place here called Florida Flex, but I've gotten them from Florida, like from Jiffy as well. I don't find them like locally in a store. I order them all online. I'm sure if I heard you correctly, but do the cartridges come with the chips or you have to purchase them separately? For which printer? I mean, all of our cartridges come with chips, but there are certain ones that you have to buy. You have to buy replacement chips. All right. We're going to trim off the ends just in case there's any ink We're just going to trim off the edges. If this was fully covering something and the edges of it was not touching the paper, I don't bother to cut it down. I'm only cutting it down because I don't want there to potentially be ink on the edges of the paper and that get on my shirt. We're going to just check the pressure real quick. A 1 is what I'm looking for. All right, I have my 1. I'm going to put my print down. Nope, I don't lint brush. Nope, I don't use butcher paper inside. Nope, I don't use butcher paper on top. And my heat press is set at 365 degrees. And in 30 seconds, it is going to be done. So yes, they come with chips on them and you just get the chip resetter. The replacing of the chips is for the 812 cartridges only. Once it is done, I take a piece of parchment paper. See, I use my parchment paper for good, not for evil. I'm just playing. Once it's done, I do take this off. You're going to see a line of demarcation. That's with any like silky type polyester shirt. I put a piece of butcher paper on top. I turn my knob like 1.5 to get more pressure. I press that. For about 10 seconds or so. No lines. 30 seconds to perfection. The blacks are black. It's amazing. Yes, you don't need a lot of pressure. You just need even pressure to keep it from gassing out, but you don't need a lot of pressure. Which shirts are polyester but feel like a cotton? Some customers don't like the polyester feel. I really don't look for those. For me, my customers going to use what I use and what I sell. So I personally don't. If they don't like the shirts that I have and I keep in stock, that's on them. I'm not about to go look for no shirts that feel like cotton. I don't really care for them. But out of all the ones I have, I guess I would say like this one is not as silky. So in this one is the Port & Co. Yeah, this one, people like the jerseys for that reason. The Gildan ones, but it's very thin. Cricket shirts, but I'm not one. I look for that. They gonna get what I sell. And they don't like it, go somewhere else. I don't care. Oh, my bad. I forgot to show that. Nope. Absolutely no bleed through on the ink. Absolutely none. That is the inside of the shirt. And on the print, absolutely nothing on the back. You do not see it whatsoever. There's not a hint of that ink coming through. That was 11 by 17 paper. I use the Epson 7720. It prints up to 13 inches wide. I love the 15,000. I still have not opened it. Should I see it and look for or should I sell it and look for a Sawgrass? I mean, that's up to you. A 15,000 is a wide format. The Sawgrass wide format is going to cost you basically $1,000 and up for the Sawgrass. So that's up to you whether or not you want to sell or not. I like Epson printers. I don't have an issue with them. I'm looking at your membership plan. I have been working with the business edition for about 2 years. Which one of your courses would you suggest? They are basically the same. The master's program is just learning Silhouette Studio. The doctorate program, we have business strategy sessions. Last night, we had a great session. So they're, as far as learning Silhouette Studio, they are exactly the same. So if you want to just learn Silhouette Studio and learn more about it, you're going to sign up for the master's program. If you want the business help, doctorate. I can repeat the name, but you're not going to be able to find it. They do not sell those printers. They are discontinued. That is the Epson 7720. That is the whole purpose of this particular video, to talk about the changes when it comes to printers for Epson. The most cost-effective wide format, which is the 7210, is being phased out because they have released the 7310. So that's the new one. So if you're looking in the market for one, the ones that you're going to be able to easily find is the 7820, 7840, and 7310. So for those, if that was your first time, did you like what you saw? Did you like what you see? Did you like what you saw? Yeah, I said it right. I was like, wait a minute. Because I'm used to saying, do you like what you see? So 365 degrees, as long as it's outputting 365. You can put on 365. If you haven't checked your temperature to make sure it's outputting 365, you may want to up it. So you may have to put yours on 375 for it to output 365. 365 output, 30 seconds, no butcher paper required, nothing on top. I don't lint brush. I don't tape down. All that stuff. I did a whole video where I compared the traditional way and my way. A full shirt you can get done in a minute and a half. That is setting your shirt up, lining it up, pressing it, and even doing the second press. A minute and a half to maybe 2 minutes. The other way, by the time you put butcher paper on the inside, you line it up, you lint brush it, you tape it down, you put butcher paper on top and all that kind of good jazz, you are at 5 minutes per shirt. You do it the professor's way, you'll be knocking out jobs a whole lot faster. You don't have to sit under your hot heat press. I'm telling you, if you don't have Honestly Speaking paper, you might want to jump on that website and get you some. Enter our giveaway. Go buy yourself a gift card. Enter the giveaway. Then take the gift card and buy your HS Ink products. You want to use some of this HS Ink paper. Go ahead and join the INKCREDIBLE family. It honestly speaks for itself. It is absolutely INKCREDIBLE. Honestly speaking, is INKCREDIBLE. The proof is in the press. The name of my company is SILAHOLICS Anonymous. So I use silhouette cameos. I have 6 of them. So my company is called SILAHOLICS Anonymous. I teach Silhouette Studio to others for its crafting or business. I do free videos on my YouTube channels, as well as I have dedicated classes. I have memberships. We have different boot camps for different projects and things like that. We have a party favor and decor boot camp coming up using Sublimation. That is in September. We will potentially have a beginner's sublimation. So it'll be like a multi-week. It's just like, going through everything, and then we will repeat it like again. So it won't be like a continuous type deal, but it's going to be for beginners. I put a post out there. If you were to take a beginner, you are brand new to it, what are some things that you want to learn as a beginner? And I'll tell you right now, I will not be teaching all over shirts in my beginner's class. That is not beginner. That is not beginner. If you are brand new to sublimation, doing an all over shirt is not beginner. So that one is definitely off the table. But being realistic, you are brand new. What is it that you want to learn when you are brand new to Sublimation? We are looking to put together a multi-week course for that. That will just, like, each semester we'll just have a new group of people. And there will be a sign up and there'll be a cutoff. And once that cutoff, only those who are signed up, it won't be like my classes now. You can jump in at any point. For this one, it's a sign up period, a cutoff, and then we start the process. We'll go through those weeks. Every week we'll have a different class on different things, and you will be set up and ready to go for Sublimation. The paper is everything. Yes, the colors are so vibrant. Go like and follow. You will not regret it. The doctorate program is the bomb. She says, show ain't. Name of the paper. It is our line of paper. So this was made with, why am I always losing ish? Jesus, this don't make no sense for me to always losing stuff. This is our brand of paper. Honestly speaking, Sublimation paper. The link is in the description of the video. I think I have it here. So that was for the rolls, but it'll take you to our website. But we have Summation ink, Summation paper. Our ink gives you more bang for your buck. It is 140 milliliters. So it's a really big bottle. It'll last you a really long time. You get a whole lot of refills out of this. And if you have eco tanks, it's 2 full refills because they are 70 milliliters. So you get a lot of value out of our inks, 140. And then this is the change the game sublimation paper. No one tells you about sublimating. You can't do it. 365 degrees. We are branded. I like the Team 365 shirts because they fit my brand. We are known as Team 365 because we sublimate at 365 degrees, as low as 30 seconds. I even use 365 on my easy presses. We pressed this at 350 degrees. So 355, I think. 350 degrees. And look at those colors, honey. Our paper does not play. It does not play. It's thebomb.com. Will you use your sub? You cannot use Summation paper with Pigment ink. It does not. The paper is not what makes it do this. It's the ink, and Pigment ink does not do this. Pigment ink is for regular printing only. If you want to create labels and stickers for your business, want to create business cards, I don't understand why. You want to do chip bags, labels, print out school projects, print out term papers, print out receipts, print out labels. That is what Pigment ink is for. It will not ever transfer like Sublimation ink does. You need to make sure that you like both pages and follow them because she gives so much amazing information. I'm purchasing my paper tomorrow. Thank you. Just ordered the Change the Game paper and the tacky paper roll. Thank you, Esther. All right, y'all. I know y'all got to be tired of me. It is 1 o'clock. My message is I'm going to make another post about this, or I'll probably make a quick video because this has been 2.5 hours. So no, when people say, oh, I missed it. Although in the beginning of it, I did go straight into talking about the printer. So if you missed everything's here, you don't have to watch 2.5 hours of this. I mean, it was just more like people repeating the questions. I repeated what the live was about. I did some demo. I did a demo, not some demos. I did a demo. At 7 p.m., I will be doing socks. I will be doing some socks from Silky Socks on Dollar Tree, some socks from Five and Below, some socks from Walmart. So it'll just be socks. Everybody. So that is at 7 because it is SILAHOLICS Anonymous Awareness Month. Yes, I created a whole awareness month for my business because, you know, I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. So all month long, I have been doing all sorts of different projects. This is Sublimation Week. So we're going to do socks today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do tune in. The link for it, so you can hit the reminder, will be up right after this. But definitely come back, and it's only available on YouTube. So if you are on Facebook watching this, I suggest you go to the link in the description and go to either one of our YouTube channels or both, subscribe, and then you'll get the notification when I go live at 7 p.m. Why do you not recommend printing your own business cards? Who has time for that? Baby, if you missed my live video, I talked about this maybe last week. That is not your business. Your business is to focus on making custom items, making shirts, making tumblers, making party favors, whatever it is that your business is. That is what your business is. Your business is not to make business cards for yourself. That now takes away time that you can be working on your business. Hand that off to somebody who's going to give you 1,000 business cards for $35. $35 is a drop in the bucket. If you are booked to capacity and busy and you want more time to work on your business, don't be trying to print out no cards and then you have to cut them with your little cutter and cut them down and have to cut all the sides. When they're doing those at a print shop, they have this really, really big cutter. They take all them little business cards, stack them suckers together, cut that side down, push it, turn around, cut the other side down, cut it down the middle, and then cut, and they're done. For you to go and do that for 1,000, baby, you are wasting money. You're going to lose money because you cut down your own business cards. I mean, you can't work on somebody else's order. That is not your business. Your flyers are not your business. Your business cards printing is not your business. You can design them. Definitely, if you have the time to, definitely go ahead and design them. But printing them, please pass it off to somebody where that's their business. Okay. What is the difference between Change the Game and the tacky? The tacky paper is on a roll and it sticks when you press it to your shirt. Thank you for always being here for us with all the information. Love you too. Take the classes, you will not regret it. She is patient. You can ask questions, and she waits for everyone's eyes. No one left behind. You will get more than what you thought you were getting. Thank you. This live, she say notes. She said true facts. Yes, that's not y'all business. I'm telling y'all, it's not. Just because you are a crafter does not mean that you have to do every single thing for your business. You can't make time for your business if you're doing stuff that's not concerning your business. I'm just saying. Buying mine now. Awesome. All right, y'all, for real. Let me get up out of here because I got to prep for all right. So let me get my butt up off of here so that I can eat. I can prep. I have to pull all my socks out. I have to pull all my jigs out, and I have to prep which design. So I'm not designing, and we're not there for 2 hours. My goal is to get tonight's live done in an hour and a half. We're going to see if we can do that. If I don't have to design and print out everything on live, I can get it done in an hour and a half. So I'm going to try my best to do all that stuff now. So yeah. It's your first live with me and you're on YouTube. I expected a lot of new people from Facebook because I shared it to a bunch of groups and people shared it out to groups, but I didn't expect a lot of new people from you. It's always great when I see new people from YouTube because that means that YouTube is suggesting my videos to people who do like searches for sublimation. That means they put this in your feed and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. I want to eventually go live on TikTok. I don't like making TikTok videos, but I do want to go live on TikTok. But in order for me to go live on TikTok, I'm going to need y'all to go and like at SILAHOLICS Anonymous on TikTok so I can do lives. I don't like pre-recorded videos. I hate editing videos. I like live videos. So this is what I do. This is my job, is to make live videos to inform the people. Some people are like, well, what do you do? This is me doing my business. I don't have to do my sales. I have a wonderful department, i.e. my husband, that takes care of that. Also, when you place your orders with us, we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't have to wait for no certain day. If your order is placed by 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it goes out the same exact day. If not, it goes out the next day. We don't play no games around here. That man is a beast in the warehouse. So definitely go ahead and order that. So I get to sit here and I get to teach this. I want to be like my son's teacher. My son goes to school at 8 o'clock, 8:30. He gets out at 3:05. His teachers are teaching him. They take their lunch break. They go back to teaching. I can't teach little whippersnappers. I have to. Sometimes y'all adults act like them kids, though. I'm not even going to lie. But I love to teach. I love being the professor. My dream is to be a teacher where I have students that are able to attend classes, 8 o'clock classes, 11 o'clock classes. Then I have evening classes. I just want to teach all day long. That's why I sit on live for hours and hours. And it doesn't bug me because as a teacher, when you're in class and you're teaching, my son's 5th grade teacher, my preschooler teacher is sitting there teaching them for hours. And that is my desire, is to literally teach all day the same way a regular professor would and have different classes in the morning and afternoon class and evening class. If I can do that, I will be so content. I love what I do. If you can't tell, I love being the professor. Absolutely love it. So welcome to all of the newbies, no matter if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Hopefully this won't be your last. Hopefully you found your tribe, because we are good people over here. We don't judge. We don't like the words. This might be a stupid question. This is a dumb question. I'm going to call you out on that. We don't use those words around here. As you can see from this live, well, if you've been on for the whole time, people ask the same questions and I answered it every single time. There's no such thing as dumb questions. I do these lives every single day. So I'm pretty much used to getting the same questions and I never know who's new. So if you ever come across my live and you have a question, if I'm able to answer it, as long as I didn't just like answer it, you may have to go back. It's an open forum here. We are very welcoming here and we hope that you enjoy it here, whether you're watching on SILAHOLICS Anonymous YouTube, Honestly Speaking YouTube, SILAHOLICS Anonymous Facebook, or Honestly Speaking Facebook. And eventually SILAHOLICS Anonymous is TikTok, because Instagram, I don't really do Instagram like that. Like, I don't like it. I don't like that. She said they don't play with getting stuff out. It's your first live too. Also, if you are new here, let me also tell you something that you need to do if you are new here, right? Often on lives, I give away ish. Most times in my lives, especially access to my classes. So I need for you to head on over to, I'm going to type it in. It's in the comments, in the description. I'm putting in the comments also. Couldn't see. I wear glasses and I couldn't see. That's so small over there. So I was missing a letter. Academy.silaholicsanonymous.com. That is my academy site. Okay. If you are on, for all those, all 105 of y'all who are under the sound of my voice, I need you to go to my website if you have not done so already. And I need you to create an account. You don't have to purchase any classes yet. You can create an account. Because when I do giveaways for classes, my memberships, you must have an account on my site. If not, I move on to the next. So all you do is free to create an account, and it makes it to where you are eligible for a giveaway for my class. For classes, the only eligibility you have to do is be on the live and have an account on my site. That's it. And if I do a giveaway, I literally go and give you access right then and there. So head on over to academy.silaholicsAnonymous.com, create an account, but also check out our courses, check out our memberships and what it offers, and maybe sign up for those as well. When you sign up for these, all of my classes are not included. You do get a discount. So if you are a doctor or master's member, you can still enter to win access to a class for free, because you do still have to pay for it. You just get a really good discount for classes, because this membership is about teaching you graphic designing via Silhouette Studio only. It is not an all-inclusive to every class that I do and all that kind of good jazz. All right. Let's see. So there you go. Yay! Yes, YouTube. Thank you. All right, y'all. For real, let me get up out of here. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.